After a 23-year absence, Peacock has broadcasting rights for NBA games again, and it was fantastic. The first showing they had with the Houston Rockets, Oklahoma City Thunder, and Los Angeles Lakers and Golden State Warriors. Very great showing. I love the presentation. It felt like games actually meant something. Granted, it's only the first game in an 82 game season, but the presentation was really good. The game started at a reasonable time. Nothing crazy like we've seen in years past. These games starting like 15, 20, sometimes 25 minutes late. OKC Houston win it overtime, so you had to watch the Lakers game. Right when it started, you have to go to Peacock, another streaming service. But overall, there wasn't a lot of commercial interruptions, breaking the flow of the game. The games flowed really nicely. The game started at a reasonable time. Presentation was really good. I liked the showing I saw from them for those first two games. Really liked it. And it was a great stretch of NBA games all around. Well, not for my Lakers. Luka looked phenomenal with 43, 12, and 9. But the same issues still persist with this roster with too many players. Not even too many. All of the players being one-dimensional. All the players one-dimensional. Granted, only one, maybe two of them are really worth it. Of course, the one being Luka. The second, 1.5 being LeBron James. LeBron's still an elite player. LeBron's still good, but is he a bona fide top 5? Hell no. Top 10? Maybe so, due to the injuries. With, some high impact players like Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, equal to squeeze in the top 10. Fine, but I don't see it. And plus, he is going to be missing around 15 to 20 games due to his injury with the sciatica, I believe. So, yeah, can I really confidently say he's a top 10 player right now? No. Can he give you that top 10, top 5 production on any given night? Surely, but the consistency just isn't there. He's a much older player. It happens. Even with LeBron having clear regressions, he's still, easily a top 15, top 20 player on the planet. But is he as good as he once was? No, and you're not crazy for pointing that out. But enough about that. Let's talk about Victor Wembanyama. I thought some of these leaps were a bit overstated. Oh, he's going to be top 5, most sure. I'm like, let's pump the brakes. No. And I know it's one game out of an 82 game season, but against that Dallas front court with Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, Cooper Flag, Najee Marshall, all the size and, switchable wings they have. That was a very impressive showing, especially against, one of the premier defenders like Anthony Davis. A very impressive showing. 40 points, 15 rebounds, 15 for 21 from the field, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 1 assist, made 1 3. Only took 2 threes in that game, but made one of them. Of course, it was, that step back 3 and 1 from Derek Lively fouling him. Filthy. I'm just glad the Spurs roster isn't all the way there yet. I know De'Aaron Fox is injured, and you have to see him later in this season. Not right now, but Wemby is the real deal. And this is reminiscent of that game he had 2 years ago against Phoenix when he was like 38 and 10 with a couple of blocks. I'm like, this is what people are talking about when they're talking about the 7-foot alien from Paris. That was a great showing. Looking forward to watching him throughout this season. Really good. Don't think he'll be able to pull away any of these regular season awards if the team's roster just isn't there yet when it comes to the overall win totals. But I do think he has a great chance for the Defensive Player of the Year, just based off of his defensive impact. And if he's just that good, then I think they may just give it to him. Now, I would hope that they at least win enough games to warrant that. I don't think he'll win enough games to be to win the MVP. He'll definitely be in the running. But they're decent enough and able to get a good stretch of games off, he can easily walk away with his first Defensive Player of the Year award following this season. That was really good. I didn't mention it, but the Oklahoma-Houston game, double OT, first game of the season, just great stuff. And tonight's primetime games are the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers, a rematch of last year's finals. Now, granted, I think this game has a chance to get a little ugly because they are missing Tyrese Halliburton. I know the Pacers played really good throughout last year because they had, incredible depth, but they don't have Miles Turner anymore. That was a big departure for agency, and Tyrese is injured. This game could get ugly. It could get ugly. But the game I'm really looking forward to tonight is the Denver Nuggets vs. Golden State Warriors. Steph was a bit bottled up in the first game with the Lakers, 3 for 9 for a 3-point land. He did put the dagger in the Lakers, obviously. But Warriors, Nuggets, those games have been classics these last couple of years. So unfortunately, a good matchup between those two teams. Of course, they have Jimmy Butler this time around. They have Cam Johnson for the Nuggets, a new addition. That'll be a good match to watch. We'll briefly touch on the breaking news for today's NBA media cycle. That is Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, Damian Jones being arrested, involved with some illegal gambling ring. When it comes to Terry Rozier, it is his own player props specifically. And we have a tweet from a fan from a couple of years ago. This was from March 23rd, 2023. Terry Rozier had no props listed all day, was never listed on an injury report. His props get listed late, and then he plays the first quarter and is ruled out for the rest of the game. Surely nothing shady going on there. And this is regarding Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups called a timeout to take his two best players, Denny Avdija with 37, Shaedon Sharpe, out of the game with 3 minutes left in the 5-point game and never put them back in. You will never convince me that these teams don't blatantly lose on purpose. And that was a game, I believe, against the Bulls. Not last year, earlier this year, from April. So he took out his two best players in a close game. They lose that game. And what and behold, we have Chauncey and Terry Rozier being arrested and having some type of investigation going on regarding gambling in the NBA. Now, when it comes to Chauncey and Damian Jones, this really ties into poker. You have x-ray machines built in the tables to read face-down cards, contact lens-sized glass that can read pre-marked cards, and of course, secret cameras and card trays. Yeah, you had Jontay Porter get permanently banned from betting on his own unders earlier this year, and now we have another scandal. Wow, this is something that's going to be more of a problem, and not even just the NBA, in these leagues as a whole, with sports betting being legalized more and more throughout the United States, and with it being so accessible with your phone, and you linking your bank accounts to said phone. It's only going to get worse before it gets better. And you had Shohei's interpreter be investigated, all that jazz. Like, this isn't a manufactured epidemic. This is the actual epidemic plaguing young men, unlike the mental illness epidemic. But you know what? That's another video for another day. We'll just keep it basketball for this time being. But we will see how this story develops when it comes to Chauncey Billups, Damian Jones, and Terry Rozier. Obviously, Terry probably going to get the Jontay Porter treatment. He gets banned from the league. Well, they could link Chauncey to what happened with this game earlier this year in April. I think the same thing happens to him. Don't know about Damian Jones. But, yeah. Sports betting, that's the real epidemic that is sweeping the nation. It's only going to get worse. You have all these ads, you have fans being very hostile to players for these bets not hitting. It's ugly. But the NBA is back. I am glad. NBC, great presentation for the first two primetime games. One thing to point out though, it's not going to be very accessible for fans to watch all these games. You gotta subscribe to ESPN, NBC, Peacock, Amazon Prime. That's a lot. That didn't even include League Pass, which isn't a great product in general. So there's a lot to work with when it comes to watching these games and not being the most accessible, and blackouts. We can talk about that later too. But looking forward to tonight's two games. It's only on ESPN. It is, again, Oklahoma City Thunder, Indiana Pacers, Golden State Warriors, Denver Nuggets. Looking forward to those two games. Glad the NBA's back. Without the way, ladies and gentlemen, y'all stay safe. I'm out.